So how should you study for the CISSP exam? Well, there are many options, and each one is exactly right for a different person. So I want to do a little overview of the different options and let you choose the path that is best for you right now. Option number 1 is self-study. I'm a big advocate for self-studies. I have to say my BA and my Masters have both been from the Open University, so I'm a huge fan of self-study. However, when I was planning to study for the CISSP, I felt a little bit bombarded by the sheer amount of information that I had to go through. The 8 domains, and in my days it was 10 domains of the CBK, felt so wide. I didn't know how deep to go into each domain. When I was looking online, there were so many online courses and webinars and books, and that was over 10 years ago. Today, the numbers have multiplied so many times. So it's very hard to differentiate between the available resources out there and the good resources out there. That's exactly why I created my guide to good resources that you can rely on, that you can use when you study for the CISSP exam. Again, that is relevant both for people who are self-studying or people who join some sort of training. And I'll talk about training in just a second. So you can download, there's a link down below, and you can download this guide, which contains some of the best resources that I could find. Each and every one of these resources are resources that I reviewed and I verified, and I say these are resources that I'm giving my stamp of approval that you can use. It doesn't mean that there aren't any other good resources. I'm sure there are. I didn't go through all of the available resources. I went through some of the major ones, some of the ones that my students have sent me and I reviewed, some of the ones that I repeatedly heard people talk about, so I bought them and reviewed them. Some of them are really good, some of them are not so good, so I will suggest you focus on the ones that I personally recommend. The second thing that you can do is join any sort of online self-paced course. There are so many of them. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. You can use them, especially if you don't have some sort of timeline. You want to take your time and start reviewing the material at your own pace. That's a great place to go. There's actually an ISC2 official self-paced CISSP exam course. You can definitely take that, review it, but it will require you to be your own sort of guide. You will have to make sure that you create a clear timeline. When are you going to study? How long are you going to study in each session? When is going to be the next session, etc. It's a little bit hard to create that time frame, but for those of you who opt for it, great idea, probably cheaper than most of the other options. The last option is a full-on training, live training. There are official courses and unofficial courses. Obviously, as an ISC2 board member and an authorized instructor and official training provider, I will recommend the official trainings only because I know exactly what is being delivered in each and every single one of the official trainings that we provide. It doesn't mean that an unofficial course is by definition a bad course. It could be a great course, but there's absolutely no way for me to know that. There's so many offerings, and I don't know how acquainted the instructors are with the current CBK. I don't know if it's updated to the current version. So personally, I will always recommend to use an official training provider if you decided to go for a full-on course. The official courses include the official CISSP student kits, so that is something that you will receive as a student. You will also receive 40 hours of live in-person training. You can ask your instructor for questions, you can ask for additional guidance, etc. Some official courses are in a bootcamp, 5 days, 8 hours a day method. Some, personally, I don't like it. I don't enjoy delivering it. Again, it's very personal. Personally, I teach in once a week. Some courses I teach twice a week. I find it an easier pace to maintain, especially for people who are doing the CISSP in parallel to their full-time job as security professionals. So I find that once or twice a week is a better pace for most people. It also enables them to review the materials prior to each lesson and get the most out of the lesson. Ask questions about the things that you're not exactly sure about. So that is my approach. Personally, I added to my official training course additional things, additional bonuses, like the live exam prep Q&A marathon, where we reviewed dozens of CISSP sample questions. I try to always find the hardest ones so we can review the little tips and tricks that will enable you to analyze and pass the exam. I also have a private WhatsApp group and domain summaries and flashcards app and other things that I give my students, but other instructors also have a lot of offerings and a lot of experience, so feel free to look at offerings in your region, in your town. If some people prefer online, some people prefer in person. I only teach online, so that is my approach. That's the way I prefer to teach now. But these are the options. So you can self-study with a book, with an online course. You can join any sort of online course provided by ISC2 or not by ISC2. You can join an in-person full-on course. But at the end of the day, the one thing that will differentiate people who are going to pass the exam and people who will not pass the exam is how seriously you take it. Hope to see you on the other side.